So the purpose of this video is to show you how to create a survey using Google Forms. The reason why I like using Google to create my surveys is because it's free and it's very easy to use. It also puts all your data into an Excel sheet for you where you're able to then import it into SPSS and manipulate your data and run whatever tests you need to run for your research. So in order to use Google Forms, you need to first have a Google account. So if you haven't created one, you're going to have to create one. If you're a student at a university that uses Google, then you can use your student account. So I'm going to go ahead and log into my account. Once you log in, you're going to go to the icon where you see all these squares. It's the Google Apps icon. You're going to click on it and scroll down to More and click where it says Forms. So if you've already created any surveys, you're going to see them here listed on Recent Forms. To create a blank one, you're going to go to where it says Start a New Form, click on Blank. And when I always create a survey, I always first write all the information that I'm going to be inputting into the survey on a Word document so that it's easier for me to input the information into Google. This also helps me to make sure that I don't forget any information. Meanwhile, I'm inputting any questions or in my informed consent to make sure that I've been able to proofread it and have it spell checked to eliminate any errors on my surveys. The survey that we're going to be creating today is going to use some questions from Paul Spector's Job Satisfaction Survey. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to title our survey first before we start adding questions and adding our informed consent. So we're going to title this Job Satisfaction. And you can also change the name of the document by clicking here at the top, and it'll populate the title of the survey that you've included up here. Let's get started with the informed consent section. So I have that here on our Word document. I'm going to copy it and paste it. And we're going to add that here under the title where it says Form Description. For the options, in order for participants to be able to answer whether they agree to participate or disagree to participate, you're going to leave the option as multiple choice. As you can see, there's a drop down where it allows you to choose different forms of answering the question. So you can have a short answer, a paragraph, multiple choice, check boxes, drop box, you can upload a file, you can do a linear scale, multiple choice grid, checkbox grid, have them put a date or a time. So here we're going to write, I agree and I disagree. It's very important with the informed consent question to make it a required answer so that you are aware if your participant wants to participate and agrees to participate, or if they don't want to participate in your survey. So towards the bottom of the question box, you have the option to make it required. You click on the white dot and it'll turn to purple. That lets you know that you have made that question required. Another important part for this question is to add skip logic. So that if a participant does not want to participate in your survey, it automatically takes them to the end where they are able to submit the form or the survey. So in order to make it a required question, you're going to go to the icon here where we have the 3 dots in a row. You're going to select Go to Section Based on Answer. We're going to leave I agree to continue to the next section. And for I disagree, we're going to click on the drop down and select the option to submit form. Now that we've completed the informed consent section, we need to add another section to our survey so we can ask our demographic questions. So I'm going to title this Demographics. And to add a question, on this bar here to the right, the first icon with the plus sign allows me to add a question. I also have the option to add a title and description, to add an image, add a video, and like we did prior, to add a section. So let's add a question. I'm just going to use some basic demographics. So I'm going to ask here gender. And under gender, we already have multiple choice selected. And as you can see, it already gives you suggestions. So you can have add all. So we have female, male, or prefer not to say. I want to make this a required answer because this is very important for my survey. And then I'm going to add another demographic question. Let's ask for the participant's age. Google already switched it to a short answer question. It already gave it a rule where it has to be a number. So if they go ahead and put in text versus a number, I here can enter a custom error text saying must enter valid number. Again, age is very important for my study, so I'm going to make this a required question. Now let's go ahead and add our questions on job satisfaction. So let's add a new section. I'm going to title this Job Satisfaction Survey. We're going to add a question. And I'm going to refer back to my Word document where I have all my questions listed. So I'm going to go ahead and copy my first one. Now this next part is very important. Google allows for you to use a Likert scale, so you can select a range between 1 and 5. And it allows you to add a label for 1 and 5. The one thing that you have to keep in mind if you go ahead and choose this Likert scale or the linear scale is if you're using a validated survey or a validated instrument, you need to make sure that you keep the scale the same as the author had developed it, because that's how it shows that it's validated. So since mine is a validated instrument, I'm going to go ahead and leave it as a multiple choice option. As you can see with the survey, there's 6 different options. So I'm going to have 6 options on my survey. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then I'm going to go back now so that I could copy the text for each scale. So for 1, it's disagree very much. 2 is disagree moderately. 3, disagree slightly. This is another convenient part about having the information on a Word document that's easily accessible, where I could just copy and paste the information over. Slightly agree. Agree moderately. And agree very much. Again, this is going to be a required question because in order for me to determine the job satisfaction using Spector's survey, I need participants to answer all the questions. You will continue using the same format as you add questions. You can copy the questions so you don't have to rewrite the scale and just change the question at the top. Once you're done with your survey, you're able to preview it by clicking on this icon at the top that looks like an eye, and it takes you to what your live survey would look like. It's always important to test your survey to make sure that it looks how you want it to look and that all the functions are set up properly. All the questions that are supposed to be required, you have them accurately set up as being required, and that your skip logic, if you're using any, leads to the appropriate path. So here, let's first put agree, because I want to check that, that formatting first. As you see, if I don't answer a question, it doesn't let me continue. Let's go ahead and just choose anything so we can test it. And we're going to submit. Perfect. Now you're also able to turn off where people can't submit another survey, but you have to set it up where the participant has to have a Google account, and that can cause you to have less responses. So let's check the I disagree option. We're going to hit next, and it took me to submit the form. Perfect. Now I want to go back. Something important that I didn't mention earlier, Google saves everything live. So as you're working on your survey, Google's already saving all the information on the cloud. So you don't have to worry about saving it. It saves it automatically. Once you start getting responses, you're able to see your responses by clicking up on the top portion of this form where it says responses. You see I already have 2 from the 2 that I tested out. It shows you a summary of your responses. You could see your individual responses. And you can also create a spreadsheet or download your responses. I'm going to choose to create a spreadsheet. I'm creating a new one, job satisfaction responses. And it's going to take you to Sheets on Google Forms. Here you're going to see all the responses for the survey. The best part about Google Sheets is that once you have, this is pretty much like an Excel sheet, once you have your information here, you're actually able to download it as an Excel document so that you're able to import it into SPSS and run all the tests that you need to run in order to check your results from your survey and see what information are you getting from your survey responses. Now that you've seen how to create your surveys and to retrieve your data, the next important step is being able to send out your surveys to participants to collect your data. So you're going to go back to your survey, and when you're in preview mode, you're going to copy and paste the link that's in the browser. That's the link that you're going to include in your emails or on the documents that you're going to give out to your participants. I hope this video is helpful for you and makes your data collection a lot easier. Good luck, and wish you all the best in your research studies.